Hi, and welcome to the brain health section of new employee orientation. Since we are unable to be here in person, we're going to do our best to keep you energized and engaged through a short video presentation. I'm going to share my screen here, and we will get started. We'll launch our slideshow. Okay, so we're going to be talking about dementia and brain health education here at Goodwin Living. The brain health team is made up of 3 individuals. It's myself, Jessica Fredrickson. I am the director of brain health. We also have Ellie Petoni, our brain health coordinator, and Teresa Mandela, our stronger memory outreach coordinator. To start with, we're going to watch a short video on Dementia Friends. Talks about how we can be a great dementia friend to individuals in the community. All right.
Dementia. Do you know what it means? Perhaps you associate dementia with old age. Or maybe it's a term that frightens you. Dementia is not a specific illness. It's a term that describes a wide range of symptoms associated with a decline in memory and thinking skills. These symptoms can become severe enough to affect someone's ability to perform everyday activities. Alzheimer's is a brain disease that causes symptoms of dementia. It accounts for 60 to 80% of all dementia cases. In fact, an estimated 5.4 million Americans are living with Alzheimer's disease. By 2050, the number of people aged 65 and older living with Alzheimer's disease is expected to increase to 13.8 million. It's likely you know someone or will encounter someone living with dementia in your community. At the bank, the grocery store, or a restaurant. Although advancing age is the greatest risk factor for developing Alzheimer's, even those who are younger can exhibit symptoms. Dementia affects each person differently. In the early stages, it may be difficult to recognize someone living with the disease because he or she is still independent and can engage in meaningful conversation. Potential signs include difficulty communicating, getting lost, becoming frustrated, exhibiting confusion, repeating words and phrases, poor judgment, and unusual or inappropriate behavior. Research shows that stigma surrounding dementia can lead to isolation for both those living with the disease as well as their family members. That's why it's so important to better understand dementia and how to help individuals continue to play a role in their community. When encountering a person with dementia, consider these tips. Treat the person with dignity and respect. Avoid talking past the person as if he or she isn't there. Be patient and supportive. Let the person know you're listening and trying to understand. Avoid criticizing or correcting. Offer comfort and reassurance. if he or she is having trouble communicating. Reassure the individual that it's okay and encourage the person to continue. Living with value and purpose in the community is a human right. Communities must consider ways to make services more accessible for people living with dementia, just as they have made services more accessible to people with physical disabilities. Every segment of the community and every individual has a unique opportunity to make a significant difference in the lives of people living with dementia.
Hey, Mr. Fredrickson, it's Tuesday. Aren't you going to the store?
Yeah.
Come on, I'll walk with you.
To learn more about how you and others can help those living with dementia remain engaged in the community, view our short videos that provide guidance for specific professions at dementiafriendsusa.org.
Okay. So that video talks about the different ways that we are going to encounter people living with dementia in our communities and in our, businesses, neighborhoods. And that's something that we can really do our best just when we're out in the community, but also when we are working at Goodwin Living, to be a dementia friend, to use those tips like patience, communication, try and just take a few moments to assess what the person needs. How can we make things easier for them? We never want to rush someone or make them feel bad about their memory challenges. So Dementia Friendly America is something that people across the country are certified in, and Dementia Friendly Virginia, specifically Dementia Friendly Arlington, Dementia Friendly Alexandria, and Dementia Friendly Fairfax County are supported by Goodwin Living. We are members of those 3 action teams. And if you're interested in learning more about how you can be a part of the dementia friendly movement in your community, please reach out and let me know. We always love to have more people on the team. I'm going to share my screen again. And we're going to talk about our Stronger Memory program. So part of what my team does is programming within the communities. We do a lot of team member education and things like that, support for families. We'll also share our Stronger Memory program, both with people in our communities and Goodwin Living members, patients, but also with people all across the country. So Stronger Memory by Goodwin Living is a program designed to help those facing mild cognitive challenges, an early diagnosis of dementia, or simply people who really want to prevent brain change and delay any brain change for as long as possible. It's 3 really simple activities that are practiced daily to engage our working memory and our prefrontal cortex right behind our forehead. And our research has shown that these exercises can help stabilize and even improve cognitive functions. So those 3 exercises are reading aloud, writing by hand, and doing simple math problems quickly. So if you spend 20 to 30 minutes a day engaged in these activities, you will improve your recall, your working memory, your focus. I did the math, especially when I was recovering from COVID and had some brain fog, and it was amazing how just 5 minutes of math, quick, easy, simple math, addition, subtraction, mostly addition, really helped my brain focus and helped me get through that period of brain fog. And a lot of our residents and participants say the same thing. We've shared this program to over 180 partners across the country, as well as individuals doing it on their own. So we've reached over 20,000 individuals with stronger memory, and we are still growing. Our goal is to reach at least 100,000. So we're working hard to get to that number. And this is something that's available for all of you, whether it's for yourself or a family member, if you're working with someone associated with Goodwin Living, resident, patient, member, whatever service line you're in, this is something that they have accessible to them as well. We offer the program for free online, and you can download the PDF, but for Goodwin Living team members, and members and residents, patients, you can also get a free printed copy of the workbook. So please let me know, let my team know, or HR know, and we can definitely get you that. We have the workbook available in English and in Spanish right now, and always looking to see how we can translate it into additional languages so that it's accessible to everyone. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is kind of our approach when working with people who have more moderate to advanced dementia. And it's this concept of embracing their reality and validation. So in this example on the screen, we're talking about the same person on both sides of this slide. So our reality, we know Miss Jones is 85. Her parents died a long time ago, and she's been retired for over 10 years. But today, Miss Jones wakes up in her reality. She believes she is 38, that her parents are living nearby, and she's in the prime of her career. So what do we do in this situation for Miss Jones when her reality is not matching up with our reality? We don't want to lie. That's going to create some mistrust. We don't want to go over the top and say, oh, I just talked to your parents. They're going to come by at 6 o'clock to see you and give a bunch of details about her mom and dad. Because what if that is something that doesn't happen? What if she remembers at 6 p.m.? Hey, you said my parents were coming. Where are they? Did you lie to me? It just creates tension. And people can tell in general when we're being disingenuous. And so it's just going to create tension between us and the individual. At the same time, we don't want to argue with the resident. We don't want to say, what are you talking about? You haven't been to work in over a decade. You live here now. Your parents have died. What are you talking about? That can be really jarring for the individual. So we don't want to do that either. And again, it creates that tension. We don't believe them, but they're convinced that this is their reality. We know that dementia is a progressive disease, which means it is not something right now that we have a cure for. It's not something the person is going to simply snap out of. So trying to correct their reality is not going to be effective. It's just going to create that tension, just like really doing a big lie would. What we want to do instead is kind of in the middle. Let's choose her reality. It's safer, it's kinder, it's going to create a connection between us and the individual rather than setting that tension and that divide. So what does that look like? Let's say she is looking to go to work. She really wants to be active and purposeful. She thinks she's supposed to be at work. Is there something we can do to engage her that relates to what she did for a living? If she was a teacher, can we ask her to read aloud or to review some math problems, pull in some stronger memory? If she was a lawyer, we had a resident like this. She was in contract law. And so we printed off some contracts just from the internet, some templates for her to look over and just verify, see if they are correct. Even if it's not directly related to their job, but how did they have purpose? Were they in a helping profession? Do they like to do things for others? Let's have them help us, roll the napkins for dinner, or help us lead a program with other residents, lead a sing along with other residents. If she's asking where her parents are, instead of saying they're dead, we can ask, well, where do you think they are? And no matter what she says, if she says, well, they're probably at home, or, I think they passed away, we can validate that. We can say, yeah, I think you're probably right. We can ask questions about, oh, they're at home. Where do you live? Where are you from? Can ask them, do you want to write them a letter or a note that you can share with them the next time they come to visit, or the next time you see them? You can even give them a call. Now, if it's the case of her parents who aren't alive anymore, you don't have to even dial a real number all the time, or you can dial the nurse's number and know that it's going to go to voicemail. Make sure your colleague is in on it, and let them leave a message so they can say what it is that they want to say. But in most of the time, people are looking for purpose and they're looking for connection. So if we can engage with them in conversation, in reminiscence, ask them to help us with something that's going to give them purpose, then we are going to see that agitation decrease. So this is just another example of embracing their reality and, letting them believe the things that they believe in their reality, not trying to pull them into our reality, because that's going to be really difficult and create that tension. The last thing I'm going to talk about is creating home and person-directed care. So person-directed care means that we offer as many opportunities for choice as possible. So when people have moved into Goodwin Living, when they've accepted therapy and rehab or hospice, when they've decided to sign up for Goodwin Living at Home, they've probably lost some sort of choice and ability. There's probably some things they used to be able to do independently that now they're no longer able to do, or it's more difficult. Otherwise, they wouldn't be asking for our services. It might be something as simple as, well, they used to cook all their meals and now they are eating in the dining venues. So they can choose what they want to eat, but they aren't designing their own meal plans anymore. Or it could be a really big thing, like they aren't able to drive, or they aren't able to walk where they want anymore. They're reliant on others for transportation or even for moving throughout the community. So we never want to take away additional opportunities for choice. So incorporating choice in really simple ways, even as simple as, Mr. Smith, good morning. I know you usually like your coffee. Can I get you your coffee this morning? Or would you like something else? Offering that choice, that decision. If we are, in nursing, you're helping someone get dressed for the day. Instead of just picking out an outfit we know they like, we're going to offer choice. Now, maybe that's asking, choosing between one or two outfits or one or two items, instead of asking someone who maybe has some advanced dementia to look at their whole closet and decide what to wear. We can pull out two shirts or sweaters, whatever is weather appropriate. And we can say, would you like to wear your blue shirt or the green one? Would you like to wear these pants or this dress today? We can offer those simple choices and just empower them to still be adults and decision makers as much as possible. Creating home is how we've expanded on that in our physical campuses. We recognize that our residential communities are really truly the individual residents' homes. And so we want to go in with warmth and respect, really respect their privacy, knock, and wait for a response. If we don't get a response and we really need to find out, knock again, crack the door and say their name. But we don't want to just barge in and make them feel like it's not their home or their protected space. And by creating that level of warmth and trust, it really flows both ways. And residents are, extremely kind and gracious to team members who are going into their home to provide that service. That is all that I have for today. Again, sorry we couldn't be there in person, but really excited to have you on the team. I love working at Goodwin Living. It's the best place in the world to work. Welcome and have a fantastic time. If you need to reach out to me or my team, you can always get a hold of us at strongermemory@goodwinliving.org. Thanks so much.